I'm Amy.
I'm Wendell.
And I'm Patrick.
And
This is
Yes,
But Why?
Podcast.
You know, like...
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a Grateful Dead necklace, right?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was double checking because it kind of looked like a Flash necklace.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 13 points makes it the Grateful Dead. So.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes.
Oh,
Explain that to me.
interesting.
So there's 13 points on this lightning bolt,
Right.
and that's what makes it like it's what's in the steal your face.
Is it
symbol.
is it lucky or is it unlucky?
The 13?
Yeah.
I think it's just what like Stanley Mouse drew.
He's just like, that's
yeah,
it.
and he's like, there it is, it's 13.
Okay.
There might be,
Alright.
there's probably some deeper lore around it, but it's also like one of those things where like people who are deadheads are like, oh, 13,
know. Yeah.
It's like 2.5 more
families.
points than on like the Star of David.
Yeah.
You don't know
It's the only
anything
analog
about
I know. I don't think
You
it's
don't know
5
anything
points.
about the Star of David.
There's 5 points on it. I know that much. Right?
It's a star, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Star of David is how many points?
5?
Isn't
No,
it
it's
a
a
star?
pentagram.
Six.
Six. Okay, yeah, pentagram's 5.
It's 2 triangles, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right. So you're right, Amy. I don't know anything about this.
And
I don't know if somebody's rocking out or like, just practicing their religion quietly.
I like how the
Quiet
pentagram
faith.
is rocking out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's what I think. If you have a pentagram necklace, I assume you rock out sometimes.
Like, bring on that Chuck Berry.
Yeah, Chuck Berry totally just throwing up the horns and giving it up to Satan.
Somebody tried to explain to me the other day because we did that going away for Kelsey and we did a star with a pentagon around it, but it was the right side up, and someone was like, no, technically that's not a pentagram, that's and I was like, wait, what? Like, I had no idea.
The star points down?
Yeah, apparently,
like a falling star?
and then it looks like the goat up here.
Oh yeah.
I believe that's for the Illuminati because she's obsessed with that stuff.
Right. That's
Yeah,
why
but the pentagram
but
and
I
the
did it
goat,
wrong because I don't know.
You used to like
Yeah,
a
you're not
regular
the Illuminati, but-
star like you do when you're a kid.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, it's just
star with
regular.
the
It's the where you're doing
Flip
one
that.
line and you're like, I did it.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
I remember.
Do you guys not draw stars like that?
I'm a geometric master.
How else do you draw a star? That's the
don't
only
know.
way to draw a star, right?
I think so.
I've
It's like
been
those
drawing
weird
them
S's you used to draw.
crappily like a starfish for so long. I totally forgot that you could do that. Like
Weird,
Wow.
weird
Yeah.
oblong amoeba.
Yeah,
No,
they
I
totally
was
end
like-
up all wonky and.
You could loop it.
But then Casey's like, no, it's beautiful. See, because it's from nature. And you're
That's
like,
right.
all right,
It's
I guess.
natural. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a big Grateful Dead fan?
I am. Yeah. I'm a big Grateful Dead fan. Yeah.
Have you
I've been-
done a lot of watching? I
Drugs?
mean, I guess.
Following? Oh
No,
yeah.
I meant like
tour, right?
seeing
You
them
follow 'em?
perform.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
not.
Like you do that.
Not
You do
in
that for a while,
Too many
right?
incarnations. I don't know how old you are.
Yeah, I'm 40 years old.
Okay, so potentially
Yeah,
you
yeah.
saw
So
them
so
in
yeah,
full
in high
incarnation?
school, like I ditched out of high school a lot and went and did tours, like not like full on across the continent or anything, but would go. I grew up in like Central California, so I'd do tours like up to Portland. Do Portland a lot. Then there was like a lot of stuff in the Bay Area. Go down to like Chula Vista and San Diego. So yeah, so I got to see
Right.
like the Grateful Dead
Right.
At a young age, at a young impressionable age.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's funny that you thought I was asking you if you did drugs. I was like, no, I'm interested in the band, but
Yeah.
we can talk about drugs if you like.
Butt drugs, yeah. That's
I was like, that seems fine, but
yeah.
I was like, I was more interested in knowing what the culture of those
I feel like
tours
that's a
were.
shift.
I feel like the
that's
parking
happening.
lot. I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah, that people are more interested now. Like it's actually like cooler. But, like there was a point in time where it was like not kind of cool. Like it was cool within to be like a Deadhead and like do the thing, but other people were like, yeah, whatever, Deadheads. And then like after Jerry died, then people kind of forgot about it. And now there's like this like in the last like 2 years this resurgence where it's like indie rock bands are playing Dead covers and like people are like, this is a cool thing, and it's like, yeah, it's been cool the whole time. So.
Yeah. Well, my husband's obsessed with it, as you can see
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the stuff on the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
So we listen to a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
But before I really knew him, I would read all those. I would read like the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test and the Hunter S. Thompson stuff. So I was and then I'm a big fan of like Joan Didion, who writes about the 60s a lot. So there's a lot of like, I'm into like 60s and 70s sort of culture books that were about the time. And so there's a lot of stuff about Grateful Dead because they were a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm always interested to know, I read the books to be like, oh, that was what it was like to be there at that time. But I was like, hey, what was it like to like see them? Like,
Yeah.
what was the people like? What was the venues like? How did that go?
Totally, yeah. It was awesome. At least, I mean, I didn't experience obviously that old part.
Sure,
but,
no,
but there's
absolutely
like
not.
nothing else like it. Like that was like that experience.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Being on Deadlot was like, I mean, just everybody was, I mean, selling weird stuff, patches and all this, non-authorized merch that they'd make. Like so many people would make stuff and like to take Calvin and Hobbes and just like make T-shirts and like, it took a little bit of work for like people when they're on the road and they're like screen printing in the back of their van.
Yeah.
And gigantic nitrous balloons and.
Oh, yeah.
See, I went and saw Widespread Panic.
Oh, yes.
Right outside of high school, and that was the whole thing. Is I was sold that the parking lot was going to be crazy, and then there was just. Well, like I remember guys walking around literally just shouting out with no like sense of caution, like opium, like all this stuff. I was like, I didn't even know opium. I didn't know people were still doing opium at the time. I was like, I thought that ended when like railroads were then being finished, built.
Now, isn't that surprising? Yeah, I mean, because we talked about that like before with like Patrick Nicely about like, it was like, no, there was opium around when I was in high school.
It's still around. It's
weird.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird ones though. Like it's not an obvious choice. You know what I mean? But sometimes you're like, really? That's in the that's in the trench coat there? Is that what's going on? Okay.
And it's actually rather simple to do too, right? It's actually of things out there, it's probably one of the easiest things. I mean,
sure.
Actually planting the poppies is totally legal. You can see them around town. They're in bloom right now, like the big red ones on the front of that one Beatles cover. They're walking through a field of those, and you just slice down at what is that? Not horizontal, vertical, like around the thing, and then let it like bleed for a day or two, and then take that, scoop it off, and then let that sit for a week, and then you're done. It's like there's nothing to it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, it's so.
Yeah.
All right, and then Patrick just has a problem. Next podcast.
You won't see me.
Hey, guys. It's way easier than he even said.
It's my new diet.
Well, it's like opium evolved. It's like it's like opium. Like that gets you high, and then if you do some more shit, you can get like deeper, fucked up, and you have like heroin, and then you have like opioids and stuff like that. And I think people just want to be complicated when really, all you gotta do is just kill a flower and wait a week.
You hurt the
milk
flower.
it.
You hurt the flower,
It's fine. It's all alive.
Keep it alive so you can drain its essence.
To get more out of it.
Yeah, it's not like weed where you just take the whole bud of it entirely.
Screw
you, plant. I'm taking everything you made.
This one takes like a bit of harmony with nature,
in proximity.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And you are getting so little. I mean, it's hard to create like a stash or something where you're going to get like, hooked on opium. And there's been points in my life where I've done that. I'm like, cool. Well, this is like a fun thing to take to a concert.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And everybody's like, I feel great, and it's like, yeah, it feels good.
Done. Yeah.
Like, I guess, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Wow.
Yeah.
The nitrous balloons were where I was going with that, but then that story's kind of a bummer, so I'm just gonna keep like it was just one of those things. It's definitely a cautionary tale about nitrous, so it's just like, don't do it, kids.
Yeah.
All the kids listening.
The only time I ever
solid
saw
advice,
that,
yeah.
I went to college, so I'm from Boston, but I went to college in Dallas, and when I went my freshman year, I was like, what do we got in Dallas that's weird and off the cuff and I can go do? And I went to a rave, which is not my scene, but I was like, sure, I'll go.
Yeah.
And we went, and there were these, like, guys that would go into this room and come out with balloons, and I didn't know anything, right? So they walk out with balloons, and I'm all like, that's weird. Adults at a balloon room, huh? And then,
At a rave, though? That was weird. All right, keep going.
it was kind of just a room with a bunch of flashing lights and like 3 or 4 screens with different movies and then a bunch of people dancing. So it didn't seem that weird. It was very high school dancey, honestly. I've been to much crazier parties since then, but at the time I was just like, all right. But so they walk out with the balloons, and I see this man, and he's like big burly dude, like 6'4", like jacked, whatever. And I'm like, that seems like an unusual thing for that man to have a balloon.
One balloon.
And then he walks like right in front of me and my friend, and we're just sort of looking at him, and we're both kind of confused. I wonder. And he puts it to his mouth, he inhales it, and then just falls like a tree. Like it was like, boom! We're like, what the hell just happened? And before we were almost like gonna go resuscitate him.
Yeah.
And the guy who had brought us there was like, nope. And we're like, what? And he was like, that's what he wanted to have happen. And we're like, what? that's
His last will and testament. I'm his attorney. This is
he
how he
wasn't
wanted to go
dead.
out. I know,
He
but
just-
like somebody's enacting like somebody is literally
They have power of
speaking
attorney
for him.
for
Yeah,
when he-
just,
yeah.
hey, no, sorry. I like that's somebody follows him around and every stupid thing he does. He's like, no, he meant for that. Just let him be.
It was so weird. I was just like, okay. And then we just sort of creepily stared at this body until he, woke up like 5 minutes later and then was all like, that was awesome, and went back to the balloon room and we were like, I don't think this is our scene.
We're not into this.
I don't think this is something I want to do.
That's funny because like the way I discovered nitrous, it was one of the first things I ever did because I would go to the beach and I went to the beach and Old School has just come out and they make jokes about whippets in
Old
there.
school. I'm sorry.
And yeah.
Just the fact that you're like, I'm in college and I watched old. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, I actually was in high school.
Don't
I
tell
was
me the
17.
story. Just keep talking
I was
about how you
17.
saw Hell.
Okay, so I was 17 or maybe 16, and
All
it
right,
actually
all right.
made them. Nobody would sell me, or like nobody would explain what whippets were to me. Like this is one of those
A
things.
whippets
like,
are nitrous too?
Yeah.
I didn't understand
They're
what
also a
that was
type
either.
of dog.
Yeah, because you whip cream with them. They are. They're cute kind of dog.
Amy, don't choke on that.
That was the most dad kind of response to it. They're also a very adorable doggy.
Well, let's be honest. Patrick knows nothing about less about
true.
drugs than I do.
Yeah.
I don't know
And,
anything
well,
Well,
about
because you
drugs.
whip cream with nitrous.
Right.
So that's why I call them whippets. Because if you're buying it at a head shop, you buy it under the pretense that you're
making
whipping cream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. The sentence, I got really confused there in that sentence. Keep going. So
Okay,
nobody
so
told
yeah,
you
we
what
would buy.
whippets were?
Nobody would tell us what it was. It was me and my best friend, and nobody would tell us because we weren't technically old enough to buy it. You can buy it legally, but you have to be 18. And went to a bunch of shitty shops at Myrtle Beach, and then finally one dude was just like, "All right, come to the back," and like showed me what it was. And I was a kid who literally had maybe smoked pot like twice. So this is like a very once he let us try it, and I just fell down on the floor laughing. And
So you do, I guess.
yeah, no, that's like the end game. And so like we bought a bunch. We bought like you can just buy a shit ton of them. And then I did it in a dance club later that night, like it's ecstasy or something. Like this is my thing. But the thing is it messes with the way you hear if you do it like a lot. Like there's like a weird gap. It's like wow, wow, wow. And I remember trying to get a girl to dance with me while I was like super still vibrating from it. And I was like, you want to dance? And she's like, what? And I was just like, you want to dance? And she's like, what? So I got right in her ear. My nose was pressed against her earlobe. And I was just like, you want to dance? Because nothing's working for me either. As much as she can't hear me, I can't hear me either. So I'm just, and it was just, the reaction was like I just stuck my tongue, like her head flew. And she was just like, what? And just ran away. And I was like, all right, this isn't a club drug.
Now I want to know what he actually said to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, between what you imagined happened and what actually
Yeah, I'm
happened.
like, hey, how's it going? I come up with like 2 flutes of champagne and then just like slide it over to her.
There is that like sweet 20-second period after you like breathe it in where it does give you a Barry White voice.
Yeah.
where it
Oh yeah.
drops you down.
Yeah. It does the opposite of what helium does.
Yeah.
It's a heavy gas. It's heavier, so it actually makes your voice deep too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So the-
super weird.
Yeah. Like there's like this 16-year-old kid like, hey, you're dead.
So when I had my wisdom teeth out, I thought I was going to be able to like get high off of nitrous because that they were going to use that. But I was on it for like 3-4 minutes, and they turned it up twice, and I didn't get like
You didn't get
anything.
any
They had
feeling?
they had to give me local anesthetic because I was just like,
Well,
guys, this isn't fucking working. Like, and I was super.
When you need the drugs, they don't work the same way.
Yeah.
You don't really use them when you don't need them.
No, have you seen people on?
No, I
They get
understand, but
crazy.
what I'm trying to when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, they gave me just a shit ton of Percocet, which later people were all like, "Oh my god, you got some perks?" And I'd be like,
Oh, yeah,
"I don't know
yeah.
why would you want
Yeah,
that?"
why is
Because when I took them, when I was actually in pain,
Yeah.
they both made me feel gross, and I felt nauseous, but I didn't have any pain. But I was just like, "This is why I hate all of this situation."
Yeah.
And then afterwards, when people were like, "That's so cool," I was like, "I think maybe you and I think what cool is different." So I feel like when your body actually needs it. So maybe your body needed the nitrous because you were nervous about the thing, so it didn't like affect you in the same way.
Yeah,
is all I'm
it-
saying.
yeah.
the thing
it just
is,
didn't affect me.
Well, nitrous doesn't like. Nitrous is never used as the only pain or like the only anesthetic. Nitrous is used to like placate you before they like to like calm you down just in general because it's a mixture of I know too much about nitrous gas.
Is that what comes out of the